Live from Los Angeles, this is Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I am your host, Max Kellerman. Joining me to my right, a former heavyweight contender and now world-class trainer, Malik Scott.
What's up, Max?
What's going on, Malik?
What's up, baby?
To my left, a man whose baseball team has the second highest payroll in the sport, yet still finds a way to be in last place. Of course, I'm talking about his New York Mets. That's Rings Magazine senior editor, Mike Coppinger. Yes.
Wait, how many games have the Yankees lost in a row now?
Still in first place, though. That's how
they're
so good that they can lose 5 and still be in first place.
Don't disrespect my
One-run
Yankees.
games.
Don't disrespect my Yankees.
And to Mike's left, a man who truly lives the motto, brothers before others. Unless we're talking about Manny Pacquiao.
That's right.
Former all-decade NFL running back and future Pro Football Hall of Famer Shady McCoy.
That's right. Talk about that Manny.
And coming up on today's show, we will chat with one of the very greatest fighters in the history of boxing, Manny Pacquiao. He will join us live in studio, and we'll also be joined by one of Zuffa Boxing's newest signees, the power-punching Edgar Berlanga. But right now, it is time for the lead hook. We start in England, where former two-time heavyweight champion Tyson Fury made his return after a 16-month hiatus against Arslanbek Makhmudov. Are you telling me I'm saying Makhmudov's name wrong this whole time?
I think it's Makhmudov, but who knows?
Makhmudov. All right. Look.
I've been saying Makhmudov.
And he won Tyson Fury by unanimous decision. Let me tell you why I was impressed by this, guys. Makhmudov is limited in certain ways. And he's had not a stamina problem exactly, but he gasses a little toward the end. He's a big, strong guy carrying around a lot of muscle. I thought he was in very good shape for this fight. But he is a big, strong, determined, power-punching heavyweight. He's hungry, and he fought that fight like he meant it. He came out to win. And if Tyson Fury was a shot fighter, if Tyson Fury was, I'm not saying he was what he was 5 or 6 years ago, but if he wasn't still around his prime, he loses that fight, Malik. I think he was pulling straight back at times. You know, Tyson Fury makes you miss with slick upper body movement. When those reflexes go a little bit, and a 250-pound man is winging those shots, you can get knocked out.
Absolutely.
But he is actually in control of basically the whole fight.
The whole time, Makhmudov, everything that he was swinging, he had bad intentions on. And at times, 16 months out, Fury did get clipped a couple times, no problem. What I was really impressed with the most, Max, was every time in the clinch, Fury was working. Every time, working the free hand. So that goes to show that he wasn't just there to get through it. No, he wanted to be there and dominate. And even though Makhmudov has lost before, I've never seen him get dominated like that round after round after round.
Yeah, I thought Makhmudov won
the first
two rounds.
Yes.
I gave him the first 2 rounds, and then Tyson Fury the next 10.
The dust wore off and the rust wore off.
Yeah.
And you seen the Gypsy King do what the Gypsy King does. He made that fight look easy. I like it just because of he's been away for 16 months. So the first 2 rounds, you've seen that. But when he wanted to, he's working that jab, the overhand right. He did everything he wanted to do. And then in the clinch, Malik, you were right about that. Normally times you see guys, the big guys, they're tired, they're holding. Not him. He's hitting, he's pushing him off. And so I love what I've seen. And real quick, I know it's all about Tyson Fury.
Don't you do it.
AJ, leave that boy alone, bro. Leave that boy alone.
We're going to get to that. How much of prime Tyson Fury you think is still left after what you saw?
I think, he's really close to his prime. Like you said, Max, is he at his actual prime? No. His peak? No. But I thought he was very close to it. I was ringside in London, and Tyson Fury, the legs looked really good to me. That's always the biggest thing, right? With an aging heavyweight. And you could tell that as the fight gone on and on and on, Fury shook off the rust more and more, especially those last 4 rounds. I thought he was really sharp. He was throwing a lot of punches. He was in shape, too.
Do you know what it reminded me of? And Malik, you may have at least studied up on this era. But after Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman for the heavyweight title, when he re-won it, he's a 2-time champion, he fought guys before Manila, because Manila really took it out of him, but like Ron Lyle. He had a couple of fights after he beat Foreman.
Was Quarry in it? No, Quarry was before.
Yeah, that's before he re-won the title, both Quarry fights. But he had a couple of those fights where, that's a credible guy. That's an aggressive guy. Ali is clearly not what he used to be, but man, he's still good enough to dominate
these guys.
Those guys. Good fight. He looks that way to me. Like, if you are not an elite fighter, and Fury trains for the fight. Like, he's being gracious, but he didn't train to fight in Ghana.
No, he did not.
No, he did not.
But if Fury
is
obvious, if Fury is actually training for the fight, and you're not an elite fighter, ain't gonna happen.
Because even like the 10th, 11th round, he was on his toes moving.
Yeah.
I said, oh, look at him. The big man was dancing.
Dancing.
He showed every attribute that he's always shown. I can only imagine how he will look 2 fights from now.
Meantime, speaking of his next fight, he calls out Anthony Joshua. He said he wants that fight next. By the way, you notice in this, maybe it's because it's an era of social media, everyone's mic skills in this game are much better than they used to be. It's much closer to WWE, right? Than it used to be to the old boxing days. But he wants the Joshua fight next. Anthony Joshua said he would take the fight, but on his own time. After the fight, AJ said he's still dealing with a lot of things, but he'll be ready, guys. And the quote was, as I said, on his own time. It looked to me like AJ was staking out a negotiating position. How did it look to you?
Yeah, I think it was a power move from Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn to say, hey, we're the ones in control. Obviously, they are not, right? Tyson Fury is the cash cow.
Yes, he is.
I'm the landlord is what he
Right,
said.
come on.
Yes,
He's the
he
10th.
is.
Let's be real. But I liked it. It was a great line. And Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, this is similar to Mayweather Pacquiao. It's going to happen past when we wanted to see it, but it's going to be bigger than ever. The British fans want it. I still want to see it. I just don't think Anthony Joshua is as close to his prime as Fury is.
Meantime, you think it's like a 50-50 fight, right,
Whoa,
Shady?
50-50. That was a good one there. It's a Monday. Got to be a Monday.
Hey, one common opponent is Ngannou. Oh, he knocked down Fury, almost beat him.
Let's not.
Joshua nearly decapitated him.
This guy is crazy. Real quick, though. Nice shades, too, man.
Thank you, brother.
I will say this. Watching AJ's response after the fight, I don't think he wants it. And it's not that he don't want the fight. I think he has so much going on in his personal life, right? You lose somebody close to you like that, anything, your mind's probably going everywhere. So I give him that grace period, right? Because he calling you out for all these people and you just sitting down, right? It's just the way his aura gave off, you know what? I got so much going on that I'm not even here with the Tyson Fury.
Well, if you got that much going on, you shouldn't be ringside at a Tyson Fury fight.
Well,
we all know what Fury was going to do, though.
There's a big piece of business there. I want to make the argument for Joshua. I think we're all on the same page. Of course, Fury's a huge favorite. It doesn't look super competitive at this moment. But let me make the argument for Joshua.
Okay.
Part of what we are basing that on is how he looked against Jake Paul, which was awful. But you can see that sometimes when a boxer fights a non-top flight boxer in a kind of exhibition-y circus type of fight, he won't be at his best. For example, the way Tyson Fury looked against Ngannou, right?
Yes.
When you don't put it this way, the influencer boxers or the MMA boxers are now good enough because they take it seriously. Like Jake Paul respects the sport. Ngannou respected the sport.
Yes.
They're good enough where if a boxer doesn't really train, they kind of look like they're on the same level. So keeping that in mind with the Jake Paul fight, yes, he got stretched by Dubois. Dubois is a very athletic, quick, big punching fighter. Shady, I see that reaction. Even in the Joe Joyce fight when he came in undefeated, he was beating Joe Joyce at first.
He lost, but he was winning.
He lost. He's an athletic, hard punching, twitchy type of heavyweight who Joshua had hurt right before he got knocked out.
Yes.
How about that case for Joshua?
In Dubois, the punch that he knocked Joshua out with, it was almost like a get away from me punch because he was hurt at that time, Shady. I know what you're saying.
Joshua got away from him.
Yes, he did.
Got all the way away.
All the way. Absolutely. It was a good fight.
Did y'all watch that fight? Did you really watch that fight?
We watched it clearly.
Did you watch Anthony dominate that whole fight? Because he got dominated that whole fight.
I wouldn't say the whole fight, Shady.
He got dominated.
He got dominated, right?
I was trying.
I thought that was a competitive fight.
Me too, up until.
Until he got stretched. It was
First of all, it looked like one dude didn't want to fight no more. Are y'all serious?
The first round he got hurt.
Real quick.
The first round.
When we start talking about all these great fighters, right? Like I could tell you why we talk about Usyk. I could sit you and tell you why we talk about him, why he's so good.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, we just talked about him. I can sit here and tell you reasons why he's so good and so elite and et cetera, and we can talk about him. Even Moses Asana, he's young, he's emerging. I can tell you why he's going to be this type of. When we get to AJ, it's like I'm always searching for reasons why he is so good and talked about. And I feel like if he was an American fighter here, right, he will not be as talked about like he is now. Because
he'd be more talked about if he was an American heavyweight.
I don't think
in America,
so.
he'd be
I
more
think
talked
them other guys. Resume speaks for itself in the way they fight. You look at AJ, you're going to go back to some old-ass Klitschko fight. I don't want to talk about that. And
or you'll go
when I
back
watch
to an old Dylan White fight, or you'll go back to an old Alexander Povetkin fight.
I actually said next to Dylan White.
Joseph Parker.
Stuff you'll go back to.
Yeah,
Shady.
Joseph Parker fight.
Joseph Parker fight.
cool,
Yep.
but when we go,
And you like Joseph Parker.
yeah, now, but when he was dead, he was emerged. But
If
other
you,
guys
look at
are here.
AJ's, if you look at
said
AJ's
he was
losses,
emerging.
if you look at his losses, let's take the first one, Andy Ruiz. He was on his way to knocking Ruiz out.
Yes.
That was an By the way, Ruiz Joshua is an all-time heavyweight classic
yeah,
when you
and
think of the
Joshua
swings.
was looking good in that fight,
And Ruiz, so that's his first loss is against the guy he was on his way to knocking out he'd had on the floor, right? His most recent loss is to a guy who he hurt right before he got knocked out. Like you could say
What does that mean, though? What does that mean?
What it means is he's competitive.
He's
competitive.
competitive.
And by the way, when he lost twice to Usyk, he was highly competitive.
Fight,
I
especially
do
the
want
second
to say
one.
this. I think Shady's getting at something, though. Forget about Joshua for a second. I think there are only 3 fighters on the planet that any of us would give a real shot to beat Fury. Obviously, there's Usyk, who beat him twice, and then there's Moses Atama and Caballero. I think that's the list.
I mean, okay, since you brought it up, Fury said this is a battle for British boxing. And it certainly is a battle for the previous era of British boxing. Can we say it's a battle for British boxing today if we don't talk about Moses Atama? Can you have a battle for British boxing when this dude in his last fight looked like someone crossed Pernell Whitaker with Mike Tyson?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Like he's a southpaw.
In those two comparisons, too.
Yeah, he's a southpaw who's outboxing you in the pocket with hand speed and counterpunching and upper body movement and stuff.
Yes,
and then he's a
thinking.
vicious finisher. Can we really talk about the battle for British boxing?
Without
Because let me
talking
tell you
about
something
Moses.
about Moses Atama. Part of me suspects that he's not seasoned enough. And the number one thing is he doesn't have long arms. Like Atama he's 6'4 plus, so he has today a guy like Jalalov or certain guys are going to be much taller. Fury is going to be much taller, but 6'4 plus is still good enough height. His reach is under 80 inches, I want to say, and it looks it, right? So I always thought, man, when Usyk says he doesn't want to wreck this kid, he's probably telling the truth. When guys like Fury said, I'm not interested in these young guys, maybe they have a point. But the more I hear these older guys talk and they never want to fight Atama, the more I think they don't want to fight Atama because Atama is a whole lot.
Absolutely. And when it comes to dealing with big men, if he didn't faint, someone was on the show. I wanted to bring this up. It was Rosado. Gabe Rosado was here. He said, Moses Atama reminds me of Michael Moore. Moses Atama, to me, is a southpaw that's total opposite than a Michael Moore. He's not a stationary southpaw. He doesn't give you a target. He's almost like Max say, like a Pernell Whitaker. It's almost like hit me if you can, but if you miss, I'm going to make you pay very violently. I say that to say McKean was a very tall guy, 6'2" with his lead hand up. Moses treated him accordingly, like I said in the breakdown. So many feints down. He bring these big guys down, so he's taking guys that's 6'8" and bringing them down to a 6'4" because of his feint game.
Right.
So I don't think dealing with the height will be a problem, but he do have small arms, but his speed makes up for that, man.
Yeah,
because he gets to the
no
target.
question, but I just wondered if coming into some of these long, tall, Eastern European awkward styles, would that reach be an issue? Now, by the way, when Malik and I say Pernell Whitaker, Mike Tyson, for those of you out there who are mentally challenged, we are not saying he boxes as well as Pernell Whitaker.
No.
Right? Like sometimes it doesn't matter how clearly you lay this out. People say, oh, you say he is as good. No. What we're saying is stylistically, he's a southpaw who stays in front of you, boxes you in semicircles in the middle of the ring, and is able to hit and not get hit.
Your favorite style of boxing.
That's my favorite. But he does it more aggressively than most guys do, and with bad intentions. So he's looking to knock you out. Can we talk British boxing and not talk Atama?
No, I don't think you can. I think, like you said, this is a battle for the biggest star in British boxing to crown the best of an era. But Moses definitely has next. He was actually at the Fury fight. And I think we're going to see Moses in bigger fights sooner than later, maybe even the end of this year.
But I think it's more of that. Well, Mike just said the star right now, right? AJ Fury. Moses, he got some time. He's young. His resume's not there yet, so he got time to wait. But right now, it's about Fury and AJ.
Let me tell you something. This fight is a fight for British boxing, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, to see who will duck Moses Atama next. Right? That the winner of this fight will duck Moses Atama. The loser might too, but the winner will certainly duck. Like Atama's, I got to say it. He's kind of being ducked right now.
Is it ducked or like
Atoma's being ducked.
No, but a guy.
I think so.
And it's a
But
lot of
and by the way, I
excuses
can't
that's coming in
believe
front of
I
it.
can't believe as the words come out of my mouth. I can't believe
And
it.
we're not having no picks when saying who's ducking or
say duck.
knee.
I
All
can't
this
say- I can't
grace
say that.
giving. Come on, Shady.
How
say
come?
that.
Okay, if you can't
can't
say
say
ducked,
that.
why aren't people mentioning
Risk-
him by name?
Risk
Why
versus-
are people
risk
not?
versus reward? I
Yes,
actually believe
yes.
that.
But that's what a
Yes.
duck is.
No.
No, it is.
When
It's covered up as
no,
that, right, Max?
No, that's not true.
One no would have been fine. Why are you saying no so much?
Because-
no. That sounds like a yes.
Because I'm
to me.
learning, now, when it's business, if I'm going here and get whooped on and this and that, and I still could beat this guy, I want to get paid like this.
I see. In other words, Atama,
Yes, it's a business too.
You're saying they will fight him when he becomes worth the money, commensurate to the risk.
Right.
But the point is, he's already seen as a real risk.
Yes.
In a way, other guys are
Yes.
not.
Let me
He
ask
is,
you,
Shady.
Max, before we leave this segment.
Yeah.
You telling me, because you love Usyk like I do.
Yeah.
If the money was right there, and he was, let's say he was just as big as Tyson Fury, Moses was, you think Usyk gonna duck that dude?
I don't think Usyk ducks any man.
That's what I'm trying
I
to
don't
get there.
think.
That's what
I
I'm
think
trying-
Usyk went, and I think.
Tyson Fury the same.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
But I think. I agree. Now Tyson Fury's got all the heart in the world. Usyk and Fury are both all-time great heavyweight champs. They are, to become the real heavyweight champ, not of a sanctioning body, but of the world, the Ring Magazine heavyweight champ. There have only been, X number of fighters, 30-something, who've ever done it. Among those, there's the great heavyweight champs. Usyk and Fury are both great heavyweight champs.
Come on, man.
They're that way because they'll fight anybody. But they're not in a hurry to say Moses
Well, listen,
Thomas' name.
let Turkey pull up with that big bag on
right.
Netflix. They gonna fight.
Why do you think Turkey tweeted out about Atama and Usyk in a way where a lot of people thought it was premature? It was like, oh, he's not ready yet, because Turkey, as a boxing fan, felt the same thing we all did, right? But he's in a position to actually direct people's attention to that fight. So he tweets Atama and Usyk. Oh no, it's too soon. Except everybody after the Atama fight's thinking the same thing.
Everybody wants to see it.
Everyone wants to see it.
Yes.
Ring Magazine has updated its heavyweight rankings. Tyson Fury has re-entered the rankings at number 3.
Absolutely.
Behind Fabio Wardley and Caballel. Do you guys agree with that ranking? Here's the rankings. The champ is Usyk.
I do not, Max. I would
Okay.
put
Don't
Fury
either.
number 1. I understand, he was removed for inactivity. When he left, he was number 1. And I know it's about wins, but let's not forget, those 2 losses were to Alexander Usyk. The first fight, a split decision loss, very competitive. Second fight, not as competitive, but still competitive. So
I think
would
I
have
can
Fury
turn you
number
around.
1.
I think I can turn you
I
around.
like
on
this
that.
list.
He gonna be by himself in this
Hey,
one.
real quick, guys. This list is a good list, right? But I think Richard Torres being the only American on here, not only he's the only American on here, he's the only fighter in the world that is calling out Moses Atama.
Love that about Torres.
Not
And by
only
the way,
he's the
I
only one in the
mentioned
top 10,
Jalalov.
but he's calling Moses out.
I mentioned
aggressively.
Jalalov. He fought Jalalov. The reason he didn't win a gold medal is because he came up against essentially a professional fighter who's fighting amateur, right,
Yes.
at that point, who's a 6'8" southpaw, awkward boxer puncher,
Yes.
who was basically not even in the same division of him. Otherwise, Torres would have the gold medal.
Absolutely.
I like the list though, just because I'm all about when people win, they got to get rewarded, and if you lose, you got to get ducked from that. So the deduction should be him being not 1 but 3. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it, too.
I'll turn Coppinger around like
Yeah.
this.
Turn him around. Whoa.
I'm okay
You're
with it
right
too,
in
Shady.
terms of
3,
pure
yes.
merit. You're right. Tyson Fury should still be the number 1 contender. However, there's a tradition in boxing where when the champion loses and then gets a rematch and loses that, you drop him below maybe even sometimes some fighters who you think he's better than or has a better resume than because they haven't had their shot yet.
Fair enough.
And when rankings really determined who got the next shot, the guys waiting in line like Caballel, the guys who risk things to get that ranking like Fabio Wardley, who have not yet had a shot at the
Right.
title.
That's a good one.
Because Wardley, I
can't
know he
just-
has a belt, but he's not the champion. The champion is Usyk. They need their shot.
If you
right?
look at it that way, I agree with you, Max.
Yeah.
You're right. You have to give those guys their shot. And I want to say, when we're talking British boxing, if Fabio Wardley can knock out Dubois and deliver a statement, he has to be in that conversation too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, Max,
Absolutely.
so it's the loss and the rematch you're saying?
Yeah, you lose the title, and then you get an immediate rematch to the guy, and you lose that too. Now there are guys waiting in line. You held the title for all this time.
Yes.
You defended it. You lost it. You got another crack. Fabio Wardley hasn't had a shot at the real title. Caballel is waiting patiently for a shot at the real title.
If he didn't lose the rematch and he just lost, where would you put him at?
I would still probably have him number 1 because he would deserve the next shot, in my opinion.
I
Just
think you shouldn't be allowed to stay number 1.
I don't think so either. He lost.
But I'm saying if you're the heavyweight champ and you lose a competitive fight to the guy who's now champ. If they keep you number 1 in the rankings, okay, you deserve a rematch. Like you
It's almost
look at
like
your
getting
resume.
rewarded.
That's what I'm saying.
But
you
lost.
lost.
No, that's fair, Max. When you get the rematch, yes.
Yeah, once you get the rematch
lost,
and
bro.
you
That's fair.
After the rematch, you're saying.
Yeah, because
then
look at
draft.
his resume for the
Right.
last 5, 6, 7 years. Look at all the guys he's beaten together.
considering
But the
who
guy
it is,
like,
he's
but a guy
saying,
like
Shady.
Worley who's winning, right? Give him. He should jump over him because you lost and he won.
After one loss?
Yeah.
I think the champ
just-
deserves a rematch.
Yes.
After the rematch.
But I'm saying if
Especially when it's
you don't get the
competitive.
rematch, I'm saying if you don't get the rematch, right, and he loses,
he got to go down.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Canelo thing. Like I love Canelo, but yo, there's no way you should still beat her. You
Canelo
gotta-
did go down, though. He was champion, and he went to one.
I know, that's going down.
But Crawford,
going down.
I know, but Crawford, he's left, right? He's going.
He's retired.
But he did drop, is what I'm saying. If Canelo was 1, he would have been 2 right now. He went from champion to 1.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
you're right,
Like
but-
that, I guess.
But I turned Copp around. I told you I would
Yeah,
have
that
watch
was-
this, and I
there you
did.
go.
Going to loop around.
By the way, and Moses is ranked, right? Because there are guys who are more accomplished at heavyweight than him, so he's at 6. I think those rankings, by the way, most of the ring rankings, almost always, if you don't exactly agree, it's pretty damn close, right? Coming up, we get into Conor Benn versus Regis Prograis.
Okay, Conor
This is Inside the Ring.
Yes.
On DAZN, the fights never stop. With the biggest nights in boxing all year long.
It has never been bigger for any fighter in the history of this country. Let's get ready to rumble!
Every week, it's on. So take your seat and join us ringside. The undisputed global home of boxing. Watch only on DAZN.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Copp, Shady in the co-main event Saturday. Conor Benn had a tough fight with Regis Prograis. Benn was cut twice from accidental headbutts. He did go on to win a unanimous decision. And guys, what were you expecting from this fight? They got him an opponent who he was expected to beat in a kind of rugged fight, which is what happened. What do you think? Like, are you surprised by the result?
It was one of those fights that Regis was motivated, but he's older. And he didn't show up how he would have. So saying that, I thought Conor would handle him a little bit better. It's one of those fights also, Max, that Conor won convincingly.
Right.
But the way it was done and considering the names that he won, you have to consider that wasn't the performance that for Ryan Garcia, for Devin Haney, for Shakur to have anything really to worry about. And you guys know I'm big on Conor Benn, but
You were up here telling us he had the style to give Shakur Stevenson problems.
I said that.
You said that.
Not in boxing. Maybe like if he's good at chess or something else, but in boxing, not so
Uno.
much.
He probably get it Uno.
Shady's
Yeah, Uno.
said
Yeah.
You know what? I wasn't that big on the fight. Like, everybody, oh, he did poorly. No, he didn't look great, right? He ain't like how he looked against Eubank. But I will say this: I'm learning with these boxers. Sometimes you get up for certain fights, and sometimes you don't. Same thing in regular sports. And I think when you look at it, if he does fight Devin Haney or Shakur, he's gonna be up for that fight.
He's gonna get up for
When
him.
you keep hearing, oh, this guy, he's old, he's on his last leg, you hear these things. So you might not train the same way. And it looked like it though. Look, he didn't really.
I think that's right on the nose, Shady, but it's not. Fans will hear that and hear the negative of it. You took this guy light, but I look at it a different way. You can't simulate adrenaline, right? You get the adrenaline. That's why in practice it's not the same as performance, really,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah.
And when you're fighting Eubank, if you're Conor Benn, and this is now 2 generations, decades of family feud, right? You're going to get up for that fight. It's not that you didn't get up for Prograis. It's that there's no way to make your adrenaline pump
Get to
for
that
Prograis the way it did for Eubank, because the reality is it's not as intense of a situation.
Yeah, look, I thought people were much too harsh on Conor. I was actually surprised by the backlash. You know, watching from ringside, I thought Conor did a good job. But people forget too. Yes, is Regis Prograis at the end? Yes, he retired afterward. But he's a very crafty guy.
Yes. Even
an older fighter, knows how to handle himself. By far the most accomplished fighter of Conor's career. And let's not forget, Max, Conor's last 2 fights were at middleweight. This was at 150. He had to burn through a lot of muscle. I think all things considered, it was one of those fights, win this time, look good next time. And I had predicted a 10th round stoppage, so this was not far off.
Yeah, and also, let's keep in mind, Prograis is an athletic guy.
Yes.
Even at this age, he's got some twitchies, he's got some power, he's
he's
obviously got
heavy-handed.
toughness, he's heavy-handed. He has a lot of stuff going for him that your average guy doesn't. So even at 37, and he's very experienced,
Very.
even at 37, it's not surprising that he turned it into a kind of mauling, ugly
Those
kind
headbutts were crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
physical
headbutts
fight.
But I'm sure there's some fights where, like, listen, I got to be on my A game because if I'm not, this cat can probably beat me.
Right.
I feel like in this fight, Conor, I know he didn't feel like that. There's nothing he can do to
but
beat
when
me.
we look at Conor, at least me, I think of Devin, I think of Shakur, I think of Ryan Garcia. And when you get to a certain level, when you're that good, when I look at Moses, I think of Usyk. So that means when I see him fight, I'm expecting a performance up to that level. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I get what y'all saying.
I don't
about
look at it like
the
that. I don't
opponent
look at it
and
like
everything.
that.
But when I look at Conor, I'm looking at the guys that he wants to fight.
I give you an example. There's certain fighters that I know, right? So this is how I get my true bets in, okay? I'll say, man, his last fight, he looked trash. You know what they say? Shady, he going to be up for that fight. He fighting this guy, he going to be up for that fight. Because you know in your head, if I'm not on my A game, if I don't train a certain way, if I don't do everything the right way, I might lose because this dude over here is like that. Yeah. So I think that matters.
And you said when this time looked good the next time, Devin Haney. The reason I picked Norman was not because I thought Norman's better than Haney.
Right.
It's because I thought Haney, the way he looked against Ramirez, and I even qualified it. Look, it's coming off a layoff, it's this and that, he's playing it safe, but that's the last thing I saw. And then you saw him against Norman, you go, that's a different guy, right?
So Ryan Garcia the same way.
Same thing. Right. Sometimes a fighter is entering, coming off a loss or coming off even a big win. Now I'm entering a new phase. Here's step one. I just got to check this box.
Right.
Now I can get on. There's some of that going on, too.
And this is so much tougher, right, Max? You talk about a lot of sports on your podcast. It's not like the NBA or baseball where you have all this big sample size and you just saw the guy perform a day ago, a week ago. We're going off 6 months ago. A lot of things
the
go
thing in
different.
boxing.
You a Commanders fan? Right?
You know it.
You're a Giants fan,
of course.
right? You're
Big Blue.
Eagles fan, right? I will say this. There's a
Well,
lot of
NFC East, look at that.
A lot of times in my career, we got the Giants. Oh, shit. All right, bet. Cool.
Oh, come on. I'm not even a Giants fan.
We in the
but
club. Yo, we got the Commanders. Yo, you want to walk the night? Oh, we got the Patriots? Oh, shit. All right, yo, look.
Right.
I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock. So that does happen.
You know the Giants won 2 Super Bowls while he was an active player, right?
Eagles
won
what I'm saying?
Giants won 2.
Excuse me, baby, I gotta go to practice. You know what I mean?
But here's the flip of what we're talking about, Malika. Here's the flip of it. Mike Tyson, when he would fight just a normal guy, would blow him right out. Right? Because he's Mike Tyson. It also speaks to the kind of base level that someone performs at, right?
Michael Spinks wasn't a regular guy.
No, he wasn't. But what I'm saying is, if you put Mike Tyson in an in-between fight, it's not like, well, I'll just get back past this guy and look good the next time. You put Mike Tyson in an in-between fight, he looked great. He destroyed the guy because he was great. That's the point that people and other fighters are noticing it about Benn, which is why every fighter mentions his name because they think it's an easy payday. Because his kind of base level, when he's not incredibly motivated, is good but not great, right? I mean, let's be honest.
But you've been through that. I think he's good. I don't think he's.
Yeah, sure.
I think there's one thing we're missing here, though. I heard from a few of my friends that are casual fans saying, oh, this Conor Benn, he's a lot of fun to watch. You know, they're watching him for the first time on Netflix. He nonstop action, always coming forward, always throwing punches. That was a boon for him.
Yes. Even when bleeding, the character didn't change. He continued to go on.
Go with the media.
I always think there are certain fighters who fight with charisma, and by that I mean when they're fighting, your eye goes to them for whatever reason. That's true. After the fight, Conor Benn's manager, Keith Connolly, had this to say about Benn's next move and working alongside Zuffa Boxing.
Well, I mean, they were great to us. They gave us a tremendous deal. Nothing bad to say about them. In fact, I have everything good to say about them. Zuffa, Dana White, Netflix, and of course, my good friend Nick Khan. Nick Khan is obviously a legendary business executive, but more important, he's a great human being. He's fair, and like I said, we did great business with them. We will sit down with them, but we'll also see what's out there, right? Conor's a free agent. It was a one-fight deal, but the target will be to fight Ryan Garcia. And again, everything else is in the past and looking to move forward.
Let's take a look at Mike Coppinger's picks for the week for the Ring Fantasy Pick'em game. This is a lot of fun. Mike, take it away.
All right, Max. So first off, we have Nathaniel Collins versus Cristobal Lorente. I'm going with Collins by decision in that fight. Then we have, moving on, we have the women's cards. Shadesha Green, going with her by decision. Baumgartner, one of Shady's favorites, also a decision. And then finally, we have 105-pounders going with Rodriguez by decision. No stoppages.
No knockouts.
No knockouts.
No knockouts. Boo, no knockouts. Come on.
I said Fury knockout, I was wrong. I said Benn knockout, I was wrong. So you know what,
wasn't
Max?
that far off the Fury one.
By the way, usually when there's no
Or
knockouts, it
Benn
means guys and gals are matched well, right? Like,
Also gals and,
Yeah. No, I said guys and gals. Okay, look. You can get involved in the action too. You scan the QR code to play alongside thousands of other users on the Ring's Fantasy Pick'em game for cash prizes and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. You must be 18 years or older to play. No purchase necessary or entry fee required. See game rules and term conditions for full details. Coming up, the newest signing to Zuffa Boxing, Brooklyn and Puerto Rico's own Edgar Berlanga joins the show. This is Inside the Ring. Welcome back to Inside the Ring. I'm Max, that's Malik, that's Copp, that's Shady, and we're joined now by super middleweight contender Edgar Berlanga. Welcome to the show, Edgar. Yeah, there you go. Edgar, you just signed what's going on? You just signed a multi-fight deal with Zuffa Boxing. Ching. So let's just start right off. Why did you choose Zuffa?
One of the main reasons why I chose Zuffa was I feel like they're good people. Nick Khan, Dana White is pretty good people. And I really like how Dana White knows how to market his fighters. And I was saying that the other day down in Miami. I feel like his marketing, how he builds his fighters. In the UFC, it shows, man. And he's well invested into his fighters as well, and I like that a lot. I feel like it's a big thing. I feel like right now too, Dana has a chip on his shoulder. He's coming from the UFC, coming into boxing, and he's looking to change the game. Now we with Zuffa, and we looking to make history.
Edgar, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Looks like a big coffee you have there. I'm jealous, but
yeah, what is that? That looks like a protein shake. What is that?
No, it's a latte, coffee.
Okay, latte. All right.
But hey, look, Edgar, obviously you've been in some big fights already. You fought Canelo Alvarez. You had lines in Queens against Hamza last summer. Well, what motivates you right now? What are your goals in the immediate future?
Just getting back, getting my feet wet again. I'm looking to I really want to do something in New York, for my next fight. And just capture these titles now. You know what I mean? I feel like it's about that time for me to become world champion. I think right now, the boxing world deserves it. I deserve it. My team, my family, everyone. I'm saying? I'm looking to become champ either this year or next year.
Edgar, you've been in with Hamza, Canelo, and I've seen you in with other strong punchers. And in boxing, there's a difference in sometimes where, somebody could be strong but not a good puncher. Sometimes punchers aren't the strongest guys. As far as the best puncher you've been in the ring with, would you consider Hamza, even though y'all fight didn't go the distance, is he a better puncher than Canelo was, even though you went the distance with Canelo? Who is the better puncher and who is more stronger out of the two?
Canelo Alvarez. He was the strongest one out of everybody. Canelo made me think a lot more, way more.
Right.
Obviously, he a veteran. He been in there with a lot of different styles. He been in there with legends. So, when I was in the ring with Canelo, it was definitely, fun, but it was also like it was a mind game with him. He's actually the smartest fighter I've ever fought before.
Gotcha.
Chant, what's going on, brother? Happy to have you on the show. I want to ask you this, though, because a lot of athletes and a lot of boxers don't have that superstar quality. And you have that. This is natural. You making raps now, right? The swagger with Fat Joe. Yeah. You just have it in you, right? It might get you from Brooklyn. I don't know. But you do have it. I want to ask you, who's the next fight that puts you back on that stardom? Because you have the qualities, but you need that fight. Who would that fight be for you to put you back on that stardom stage?
We was actually, for this year, obviously I want to get my feet wet first, and get a fight in summertime, and then I want to try to go for that WBA world title. I'm looking at Resendez and that Munguia fight that's coming up. I was actually calling out Chris Eubank.
Ooh.
I feel like that would have been a big mega fight in London the ending of this year. But I see that he's doing other things now. And that rematch with Shiraz, man. You know, I wanna get my feedback. I wanna win a world title, and I'm looking to get. I really want that rematch with Shiraz next year.
So you speak of Shiraz, we had him on the show, and I think that fight with you kind of blew him up. It really did. But you spoke about the hand wraps. Now I know that both parties signed off on the hand wraps. Can you talk about that? Because I hate a cheater, and I need to know. I'm talking to him on this platform. I don't want to talk to no cheater.
Nah, yeah, for sure. It was just weird, man. You know, obviously I wasn't. You know, I take my L's, you know, and I take my wins the same. You know what I'm saying? Humble. You know, obviously, you know, boxing is an entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you gotta pop your shit. You gotta talk. You know, you gotta hype the fight up. But as far as, you know, the hand wraps and stuff, it was weird, man. You know, I've been in the ring with the top dogs. You know what I'm saying? With Canelo Alvarez, that guy hits like a truck. You know what I'm saying? I got hit hard before, and just I don't know, man. Like I just felt like that ain't felt like a punch. You know what I'm saying? It felt like an object, man. But you know, long story short, you know, I'm not looking for any excuses. You know, the people know. That's why I went viral. I wasn't the one that was out there, you know, looking for excuses or anything. It was the fans that brought that to light. You feel me?
Pardon me, are you saying that based on the way the shot felt to you, you think that there was an issue with the wraps? Because it looked to me just like you got hit on the button, which can happen to anyone. And if that happens, it doesn't matter if the hands are wrapped or not. But you're basing this on the way the impact felt to you?
Yeah, it was just the impact was different. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I went 12 rounds with Canelo, and Canelo dropped me in the third round, hit me right on my chin. You know what I'm saying? And I got up like, no, I'm a guy that could take a punch. You know, but it was just how the punch was feeling. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't feeling like a normal punch. I know how a punch feels. I've been boxing for 23 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the ring with the best. I've been hit by. I've done spar heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? I've been in there with a lot bigger guys. You know, Shiraz no, and he's easy work. That's why I really want that rematch. You know what I'm saying? But you know, obviously, I gotta get my feet wet. We gotta go in there. You know, I gotta stack up a couple wins, and then I know that's gonna be the biggest fight in boxing.
Let's talk about that.
Too.
Edgar, let's talk about that, because there are two things going on as far as I see. One, part of the reason you captured the public's imagination, boxing public, was because your first 16 fights, for those who don't know, Edgar Berlanga's first 16 professional fights not only all ended in knockout, they ended in first-round knockout. He had 16 first-round knockouts to start his career. So, but doing that means you did not accumulate a lot of professional experience, actually. When you add it all up, you probably had under 10 rounds of professional boxing as you started to step it up. So on the one hand, you want to get back, you've said, to being that seek and destroy guy who was knocking everyone out, right? On the other hand, in Zuffa boxing, there don't seem to be a lot of tune-ups, right? Like, guys are matched tough. What are you prepared to do right now, knowing you're in a promotion that, you know, it's all live bodies. There's no gimmies there.
Yeah, you know, right now I'm at the top. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the top right now in the weight class. You know, and I know it's not gonna be no easy fights. You know, and I'm down for that. It's that time. You know what I'm saying, to go out there and collect these world titles and become a superstar. You know, like you said, you know, they're not gonna be giving me no guinea pigs, and that's not what we looking for. You know, that's not what we aiming for. You know, we want to fight the best. And like I said, man, I want to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? I want to be that number one fighter at 168 and just collect those titles, man. I need to become a world champ. You know, it's about that time.
Edgar, I want to ask you this. There's been a lot of champions that have lost, right? And then they get going and they become elite again. From these losses, what have some that you've learned that maybe you could add to your game or maybe do something a little bit better from the losses?
This actually, you know, my last fight, you know, what happened, man, I feel different. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? My circle definitely got smaller, you know, because obviously after a loss, you know, the Canelo loss wasn't really like, you know, it wasn't really a loss. You know, people looked at it like a win. You know what I'm saying? It was like a double win for us. You know what I'm saying? It was Mexico, it was Puerto Rico. It was a great fight, 12 rounds. We went the distance. You know what I'm saying? It was an all-out brawl. You know, but with this last fight, you know, I got to see people's true colors. You know what I mean? And I was able to like close in my circle and just really lock back into boxing and fall in love with the sport again.
So one of the issues with the Canelo fight, which was a very big, impressive accomplishment to me, having not gotten a lot of professional experience because you're knocking everyone out, then stepping up the competition, then going the distance bit, and then the first time you're in a fight with a really top world-class fighter, you went the distance with an all-time great, who, by the way, specializes in destroying styles like yours. People think of him as seek and destroy, but really Canelo wants you to come at him because he has elite counter-punching skills. So I was very impressed that you went the distance in that fight. But in the course of doing that, you made life-changing money, right? Like, that's a big payday. How do you, or can you describe what it was like after that fight? Was the hunger still there, right? Given the fact that your circumstances had now materially changed. Did that affect you at all going forward? What is it like now compared to how it was when you were first coming up?
Well, first and foremost, being in you know, it was definitely you know, a life-changing experience, you know, obviously money-wise, but you know, I gained a lot of experience being in there with him. After that fight, it made me, I already sat down and was just like, none of these fighters could fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already knew. I was like, yeah, my skill, you know, I was young. I feel like, you know, it was like a middle schooler going straight into college. You know what I mean? I was fighting in front of 5,000 people, 6,000 people max, to going into fighting on pay-per-view, 18,000+ people. You know what I'm saying? The fight week was crazy, and I took it well, you know? So after that fight, it was like, I was like, I'm ready for this. You know, I'm ready to become a star. I'm ready to take over the division. You know, I'm you know, stepping in there with Canelo. And yeah, that's about it.
Edgar, if you can have it your way as far as you being your own matchmaker, and you have the opportunity to get it back from Hamza, to get a victory back and do things the correct way and possibly get a victory against Hamza, or take a new opponent like Chris Eubank Jr., which one would you choose? Because it comes across like what I do admire when Tyson had a problem with Holyfield said, well, I didn't say that to you, but guess what? We still got to fight. You feel as though that Hamza did you wrong with certain allegations that's made, that you can actually take those justice into your own hand. But if you also had the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, is that a fight that you would accept as well? But if you had the two, which one would you take?
Shiraz. Right now, like for real, I don't give a fuck about nothing else right now but Shiraz. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I know he's going a different direction. You know, he's trying to capture that WBO. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna capture the WBA. You know, or we get a big fight going on with Chris Eubank in London. You know, and like I said, I'm aiming for next year. You know, to get that rematch with him. I think it's gonna be one of the biggest fights in boxing. You know, the people know. You got people that's biased about the situation, and you got people that really blew the shit up all over social media and was like, yo, listen, this dude has some suspicious hand wraps. You know what I'm saying? Those hand wraps wasn't looking too good. But like I said, there's no excuse. You know, it's happened in boxing plenty of times. You know what I mean? I just got to get my get back with that dude. I know we got to run it back. And he know.
Well, listen, the obvious thing from this interview that comes across is your competitive pride. So that's like the most important thing for a fighter to have. I guess that about sums it up. What's on this dude's mind is he wants to get back at Shiraz more than anything, right? That's your number one priority?
Shiraz, too, is going to be, listen to me, it's going to be the biggest fight in boxing next year, I promise you. Let him win his, he going to win the WBO. You know, I'm going to be out here watching, you know, the Resendez fight with Mugia. You know, if we don't land this Chris Eubank fight, I want the winner of those two, the ending of 2026.
A lot of big stuff coming up in the near future. Edgar Berlanga, thanks for joining the show.
All right, champ.
See you, brother.
Get back.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up, one of the greatest, and I mean very greatest, pound-for-pound fighters in history, Manny Pacquiao joins us. The president of Pacquiao Promotions, Jazz Mathur. This is Inside the Ring.
Oh, man.
The first rule of the Zone Ultimate is the first rule.
You do not pay-per-view.
You do not.
You do not pay-per-view.
Do not pay-per-view.
The Ultimate Fight Night is here.
Second rule of the Zone Ultimate. Second rule.
You don't pay-per-view.
Because Ultimate gives you a minimum of 12 pay-per-view fights a year at no extra cost. You do not pay-per-view. Join us ringside and welcome to the Zone Ultimate.
May 2nd, champions collide. David Benavidez, undefeated, unrelenting. Zurdo Ramirez, powerful, punishing.
And there's a left hook.
Can the Mexican monster snatch the crown from the unified cruiserweight king? Plus, Resendiz faces Munguia for the super middleweight title. Mexican warriors battle for the belts Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Are you ready?
Benavidez Cerdo plus Resendiz Munguia live on DAZN pay-per-view.
Welcome to Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I am your host, Max Keller. The ring's senior insider, Mike Coppinger.
Brian Garcia, the new champion. Coppinger here with the heavyweight champion of the world.
LaShawn McCoy.
That's right. Hey, man, listen, this is what I do. I talk boxing, I live boxing. You got a nice left hook, but I felt your hook. I can take that.
Let's go! Former heavyweight contender and world-class trainer.
The up jab was stopped.
We go in the lab with Malik Scott.
Canelo missed every hook. Look at Haney's left hand. It's down under his hip, touching his knee, and it goes straight up.
The Mexican monster is in the building.
Thank you guys.
Good luck, champ.
Virgil Ortiz coming up.
Thanks for having me.
Basically, you're not the toughest matchup for me.
I said stylistically.
You saying Devin Haney
I said
is.
stylistically.
When I watch you, I get the feeling like I'm watching history. Look at that.
Bang, bang,
Too loud.
bang, bang.
Inside the ring, baby.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Copp, Shady, and we are joined now by Manny Pacquiao, who on my list, I know a little bit about boxing history, folks. Other than Sugar Ray Robinson, I think this is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter who ever lived. That's number 2 on the all-time list. The CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, Jazz Mathur. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we get to the Floyd Mayweather news, I know you wanted to touch on a recent business deal that you've entered with Team Boxing League. Can you tell us what that is? 9-figure deal, also makes Manny the owner, an active fighter of the San Diego TJs franchise. What is all this?
So we're taking, what we've basically done is we got involved in a sport. I mean, TBL is it's a team sport, right? So you're looking at men and women competing on the same team. Manny's going to have ownership in the San Diego TJs. Nice. It's a league of destiny. So we help inspire, empower fighters and stuff, and we get them involved in this. Competitive, 12 different weight classes. And, with Manny having ownership in that, it's a big thing. I mean, we've already been in business 4 years. They're looking to expand. Manny's going to be the first of many more people to join in this.
So what's your pitch, man? You have a pitch. Do you have a pitch? How do you pitch people to join this league?
I want to join. So how do I pitch me?
To be honest with you,
he wants to join. He wants to fight.
He's
great at saying.
It's not.
If you're looking for someone to get in the ring and say, "This is your guy."
Fighter economics. Okay. So different from traditional boxing. In TBL, the fighters actually have a piece on the upside, on sponsorship participation, equity participation, revenue sharing from the actual fights, the gates, etc. So it's very, very, very different. You're not just limited to your purse. It's an NFL-like model, so it's, the teams own the league in the end, right? So you have access to growth. As the league grows, the team grows. And there's some very, very, very big guys and big funds that are involved behind this.
So now the rematch with Floyd Mayweather.
Yep.
It was announced by Netflix, right, in February as a professional boxing match at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And then a few weeks ago, Floyd said it was an exhibition and that the Sphere was not guaranteed as the location. Let me ask you, Manny, when you first heard that Floyd said, no, it's not a professional fight, it's an exhibition, what were you thinking?
I called Jazz right away. What happened? What happened? That's not what we signed. Like we signed a real fight. So and he got his advantage. Why he's announcing like this propaganda exhibition, that blah blah blah, everything like that. So Jazz told me this. I don't have an idea. So let's.
Why do you think that he wants it to be an exhibition, even though he signed a contract? Floyd's signature is on this contract?
Floyd's signature is on multiple contracts.
And it says professional fight.
Professional fight.
Why do you think that Floyd is now saying, after he signed a contract for a professional fight, no, it's an exhibition? Why do you think? Do you have an opinion, a theory?
I think he's scared of losing. I mean, he's scared of losing because that's his, his leverage for to go around and have exhibition because of his undefeated record. But if that record will ruin, then what else that he can leverage for to go around and have an exhibition match?
I mean, he could leverage what you do. You've lost fights because you fought everyone, right?
Yes.
So you're still one of the greatest fighters who ever lived, and you can leverage the fact that you're Manny Pacquiao. But you think it means that much to him to be undefeated, that even though there's so much money on the line and he's already signed it, he now wants it to be an exhibition?
Then, that's I always say that, it doesn't matter if you're an undefeated fighter and you are.
Yeah.
What I can say is like he's a self-proclaimed GOAT.
Right.
Self-proclaimed GOAT because he can't claim he can't even claim in which part that he can claim that he's the only. He cannot claim that he's the only undefeated fighter who retired. There's a lot of fighters, at least more than 15 fighters who retired undefeated. So, but I can claim with some of those. The only 8 division and the only fighter who became a world champion in 4 decades, 4 different decades.
Yes.
90s, 2000, 2010, 2020. So, but I'm not raising my own chair. I let the fans decide.
Your chair high. Your chair is high already.
I mean,
that's it.
And you came 1 point away from having a belt in the 2020s. Oh no, you already had a belt in the 2020s.
2020, yes.
Yeah. So, pardon me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sir.
Sorry. Good. Yeah.
So that's 4 decades.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is the back half of the decade, though. You almost, if you win a belt now, it's the second half of the 2020s.
Yeah, but Manny, look, you came out and said that you're not interested in doing a fight with Mayweather if it's not indeed a fight, if it's an exhibition. And I'm with you, and the other fans are with you too. I don't want to see this again as an exhibition. The exhibitions are played out.
Right.
We want to see a fight. We want to see Mayweather risk his O. And we saw how good you looked against Barrios.
Yeah.
What is the next step here to make Mayweather honor his word and honor his contract?
Well, for me, he cannot get out for this contract because a lot of consequences that are going to face if he don't fight this, he fulfill this commitment.
But I want to ask you this though, right? Because all the fans in the world, when you say Pacquiao versus Floyd, everybody wants to see it. That's why Netflix got involved.
Yes.
And if it doesn't happen as a pro fight, all that money being involved, you're not going to say we ain't fighting because of that, right?
Yes.
Netflix doesn't want to be involved in that. We don't want that to happen. Look, Floyd cares about money. And all that Floyd needs to see is, whoever is managing or representing Floyd today, I personally...
It's hard to keep track.
It's hard to keep track. I don't know what's going on over there.
Have you been in negotiations over the past week since Floyd started backtracking?
The attorneys are.
So you not and who are they? Are they? They're dealing with Floyd's attorneys, not Floyd, correct?
Correct. We're dealing with attorneys. I mean, he's communicating with some of the other the production partners and such. There is direct conversation and stuff happening, but they just have to see the light as to the platform and the size of what Netflix is and what all opportunities it can bring.
So, Jazz, let me ask you this: What is the deadline? Obviously, Netflix already announced that you have to. What is the hard deadline to get this resolved?
Tomorrow.
What
14th.
time?
14th. End of business day.
End of business tomorrow.
Yeah. And we're getting ahead. We're getting ahead. As long as he's got smart people around him that can see the size of the opportunity, then they can make him a lot of money. More money than he's made in the last 5 years.
So from understanding correctly, if this is not going to resolve to your liking and Manny's liking by tomorrow, and Netflix's liking, then legal proceedings will begin?
I guess. Look, that's not directly in our hands or in my hands to speak on. There's many parties involved, but all I can say is we are making headway on it. There is a contract in place, and I think better sense will prevail here. We hope it will.
If that doesn't happen, though, because that's the biggest fight that everybody wants to see.
Correct.
It's Floyd and Pacquiao.
Correct.
And that doesn't happen, then what? Because when you got Netflix involved,
I mean, listen, we have. When I first brought this up to Manny and we started talking about it, he shared some concerns with me about this. And obviously me having been on that side for a long time as well with Floyd, I know how that operation works. So going into this, I advise, I told everyone in advance, we're going to run into problems. We're going to have roadblocks. We're going to we're going to need to pivot. So we have some different plans in place. So
Manny is an active, pretty active, for his age, active prize fighter who just fought Mario Barrios not long ago to a draw. He came a point away from actually collecting another belt. Floyd's exact words, so he has options professionally. Floyd's exact words were, quote, "It's an exhibition, so we're both winners. We just want to go out there, entertain the people, put on a good show." When he said that, from where I was sitting, he kind of gave away the fact that he really doesn't want to risk the record, right? That kind of gives it away. How do you feel about that? You're a respectful guy, but as a fighter, how do you feel about that position he's taking?
Well, what I saw is like, I think he's scared. He's scared. He's scared of his record, PFO. We don't want to ruin that record because, like I said, that's his leverage to go around. And
But how did you feel toward it? Did you respect it? Did you not respect it? As a fighter, how did you feel?
As a fighter, I'm a fighter, and I respect everyone. I mean, opinion. I respect everyone's decision. But I hope that, and on that decision, announcement of Floyd Mayweather, he will. What he signed is a real fight, so he should fulfill his commitment.
Have you seen any of Floyd's exhibitions that he's fought through the years? Did you watch any of them?
No.
Okay. I was wondering what you thought as a scout of how Floyd looked.
To me, this sounds like this comes down to what does Floyd value more, money or his own, right? And Manny, look, obviously it didn't go your way when you fought Floyd in 2015. Still the biggest fight in boxing history, business-wise. Shattered all the records. Everything you accomplished. Max saying that you're number 2 pound for pound ever.
That's right.
If you do beat Floyd, where would that rank for you in terms of your accomplishments, even at this age?
At this age?
Yeah, how would this rank as far as accomplishments if you do beat Floyd?
Of all the things you've done in your career, the fights with Barrera, Morales, Ledwaba, Margarito, Mosley,
even Keith
Cotto,
at that age.
Hatton.
Yeah.
Like, where would this rank?
This is the most important fight in my career because a lot of people like, who is the greatest, who is the like the blah blah blah, who's the winner like that. Because Floyd Mayweather is just like running around, and he won the fight.
I do want to ask you this though: when you guys were both at your prime, right, and we waited the 5 years so you guys fought, why didn't you guys fight in that period where you were the man and he was the man? Because I'm a boxing fan. You one of my favorites. I need to know so when I can tell my kids why y'all both didn't fight at your prime of your career.
You know what? Because that was way back. Floyd is my fans. One of my fans.
He was one of your biggest fans? Yeah. Like, in other words, Floyd didn't want to take the risk at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jazz, you said that Floyd already took an advance on his purse, right?
He did.
Okay. How significant is that number? And then it was reported, I don't know if it's true or not, it was reported that he also used the contract as collateral to take another loan?
There's one loan.
Okay.
Right? So there's so many things that go around, right? There's one loan, but yeah, the contracts are, for that loan, the contract is collateralized. Like that Mike Tyson exhibition contract that he has, it is collateralized against that loan. That's the lender's underwriting process.
So this is inside baseball or boxing contracts, as it were, but what are next steps? Like, if he's already taken an advance from Netflix or the loan is used as collateral, et cetera, I don't know how it gets pretty complicated. What's the recourse?
Get the right advisors around you.
No, I mean, if he digs in his heels and he doesn't have the right, what is your remedy? Like, do you guys have a way to remedy the situation?
I mean, look, our remedy is strictly legal in what we're doing, right? We're taking the approach, and you can't control a person's actions, right? Like he's going to sit and sign documents, go out tomorrow and say it's an exhibition and confuse everybody, right? It's not a fact. But what can we do if he just chooses to sit at home and not go and step in the ring, even on fight night? I mean, there's a limit to how far anybody can control a situation. All we can do is be proactive on our side, think far ahead, be 10 steps ahead, figure out, hey, if this doesn't work, how do we pivot? How do we re-strategize? How do we get to the goal that we're looking for?
Isn't it difficult, though, if he declares bankruptcy or whatever, whatever, and
it's not that simple.
And you are entitled to some damages, one would suppose. So would Netflix, maybe. what do you do about it if the guy doesn't have the money to get, how can you force his hand? Couldn't he use that as leverage to get you guys to accept the idea that it wouldn't be a professional fight?
Floyd is way too prideful to even think of doing something like that. When it comes to when you say things like that, right? Related to doing certain things regarding his personal finances or things like that. He's way too prideful for that. You understand his whole image is based around money.
It's his nickname, right?
That's his nickname. Money Mayweather.
He could sell that as a business maneuver, I bet you.
There's always been a lot of rumors of other fighters other than Floyd that had money issues. I don't want to talk about that, right? That's just personal. But what I'm here to talk about is this. You got Netflix at the door, right?
Yes.
Pacquiao, Floyd, they're not going to make nowhere near that money if they fight other fighters.
Right.
So now we're here at this table, right? Are we really going to let that little wordage of this old
not little, though.
One second. My thing is, it's about the paper. And he want to make a lot of money like Floyd making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So my thing is, are we going to stop that from you signing that money and getting that paper?
We're not stopping it, and we're not interested in an exhibition. We're not interested in it. Netflix is not interested in it, and he knows that no one's interested in it. He's tried. They've tried to turn this thing around. Some people have advised him that
Shady's trying to protect Floyd.
That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm
it's not a little wordage. That's why I think.
Pacquiao, my man, and Floyd, I know that. No, he a brother for sure.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying you like the undefeated record.
What I'm saying is,
Pacquiao's one of his favorite fighters.
Yeah, I'm an athlete. I play for money. So what I'm saying is, there's no other opponent out there that he's going to make the money he's going to make for Floyd. And Floyd's not going to make the money he wants to make without Pacquiao.
Shady is pointing to the point of negotiation and leverage and who's going to blink first. There's a lot of money on the table, ostensibly more if it's a professional fight. And the suggestion is you guys might blink before Floyd does.
We're not blinking. We're not blinking. This ain't a listen, I am by far the worst person on the planet to play chicken with. So we're not blinking. These are the contracts. Right. They're signed. It's a done deal. Simple as that. He signed the contracts. He got paid advances against all the contracts. He got a loan. He's notarized the loan docs. He made
Did you guys get any advances?
Come on.
Did you guys get any advances?
Of course, Manny got his advance.
Okay. Tenshin.
And like you said, to me, the most important.
You can't take a contract, have it announced by Netflix, authorize your people to go and post Netflix and follow them, and they don't do it on Instagram, right? We have all those messages.
So if the fight's off, he's not responsible for his advance because he honored the contract to his ability, but Floyd is, or is he responsible for his advance?
As of right now, he's not responsible.
Got it.
But we also looking to enter a proper partnership deal with Everwonder, with Netflix. We're doing good by them.
You want to be good partners.
We're doing good business.
We have more. Jazz, thank you for your time, because coming up, Manny, you're sticking around. We got you. Your guy's not here to help you. We got you all to ourselves.
Close the doors.
More with Manny Pacquiao. This is Inside the Ring.
I've been promoting boxing for 60 years. I've had the privilege of working with some of the greatest boxers the sport has ever seen.
Two of the very best in the world doing battles here.
I've seen it all. I've done it all. But this isn't the end of an era. This is the beginning of a new era. Top Rank is now on the Zone, the global home of boxing.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Copp, Shady, Manny Pacquiao. Manny just said something to me before we get anything else, because I always wonder about this. The guy who everyone's looking for the next so-and-so, right? The next Manny Pacquiao. And the guy who's come closest to me is Inoue, the monster.
Inoue, yeah.
And you just asked me about Inoue. Are you a big fan of Inoue's?
Yeah, I like him. I like the way he fights.
Is he the closest thing to you? I'm not saying he's as great as you, but is he the closest thing to Pacquiao that we have in the game right now?
Oh, yeah, I can say that. Closest to me, because when he started, I went to Japan, and then he asked me about what the proper punches and techniques like that.
Well, he learned it well.
Yes.
Because he's been giving them the proper punching techniques.
Well, I told him
across 4 divisions.
The most important in boxing is footwork. When you have footwork, then you can do a lot of things.
Right. Is that what Freddie gave you when you got to wild card? Did that take your game to the next level, the footwork?
The footwork is the best, weapon.
Because before Freddie, you were in and out. And then with Freddie, you started giving him more angles,
side
right?
By side, side by side. Head moment.
It was bad enough when it was just in and out with Manny. Once he started giving him angles, it was a problem. Manny, you spent 3.5 years away from professional boxing before returning in July with a draw against Mario Barrios, who was 16 years younger than you. After that fight, how much did you feel like the old Pacquiao was still in there?
After that fight, I can say, I'm only training, 2 months training on that fight. Supposedly, at least minimum three months or 3.5 months, 4 months the most. But just 2 months in 2 months preparation in my condition and my speed is like that. So I can do more. Like I can do more than that. The Barrios fight. So I can still feel like I can still fight. I'm strong because I'm so disciplined person. Like the way I eat, the way everything like that.
Was there any time in the fight where you saw an opening and you were like, if I was 10 years younger, I would have hit him right there? Yeah, right?
I'm thinking like
That's why I asked.
I mean, in my top 5, I got Ali, I got Pacquiao, I got Roy Jones, I got Bud Crawford now.
We know.
And obviously Floyd Mayweather. Can you give us your top 5 of all time?
How about Sugar Ray Leonard? Sugar Ray Leonard
Sure,
is the best,
he was great. These are my top 5, Manny.
Mine is including me like Muhammad Ali.
For sure.
Me and Sugar Ray Leonard, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Killer.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yes.
In his prime, believe me.
Max like that.
So I'm saying I love Chavez, but if you have Chavez, you have to have Pernell Whitaker in there because he beat Chavez. Right?
Almost.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the judges. Yeah, almost. Yeah.
He loves Pernell Whitaker. That's his guy.
Last 10 seconds.
No, that was Meldrick Taylor. I mean Pernell.
Oh, Pernell.
Pernell.
Oh, yeah.
He got the draw, but he won the fight.
Yeah.
He won the fight. Yeah.
You got the draw.
I'm telling you, Chavez was people. This generation doesn't know. Chavez, the daddy, was a killer.
Yes.
A killer.
A technician that came forward the right way.
Yeah. You know that Taylor fight, like
the Meldrick, sure, of course, yeah. You love fights like that. Yeah.
2 seconds down.
So Bernard Hopkins has publicly warned about older fighters taking on, top guys because when you're older, you're fighting your opponent, you're fighting father time, right? So how do you feel about that, fighting the younger guys now? Let's say the Floyd fight doesn't happen.
This is what I discovered in boxing because I always, as a fighter, I always mix science. As being a fighter, mix science into mix science in sports like that. So how to get in the rhythm like when you were young like that. So this is what I discovered because at the age of 30 plus, 40 plus, and your metabolism is become slower. So meaning to say is your recovery is not that easy compared before when you were young.
That's true.
So what I discover right now is you're getting slower if you don't handle it. But there's a way that you can stay in fit, stay in shape and in speed. So you can get that as long as you taking care of your body, how you prepare. To prepare it's not in 2 months or 2.5 months. Like you need more long preparation because you need your body to have rest during the heavy training day.
Lifestyle.
So there's extra, time to give your body rest, and then you can push again.
Right.
Then rest and push again. That's how it is when you are getting old.
Like smarter.
Yeah, Manny, I think to me it gets forgotten that you were going to be fighting Errol Spence. It was a really big fight, right? Spence has to undergo surgery, and then you end up fighting a very tough fighter in Yordenis Ugas on short notice, very different style. But how do you think it would have went if you would have fought Spence as scheduled?
Oh, that would be different than Ugas fight. But on Ugas fight, we did a routine that we not usually do it before the fight. So that's what happened to me. I got cramping 2 legs like that, because before the fight we do the machine, the massage like that. And in the fight, like I'm cramping like tight. I cannot move. Like the first time in my career, we're doing that.
Could you imagine being over 40 years old and wanting to fight Errol Spence? What's the matter with you? What's wrong with you? You're going to fight Errol Spence when you're over 40 years old? Spence was a killer. He was young. He was in his prime. He's tall. He's rangy. He's a southpaw. Why would you want to fight Errol Spence at that age?
Of course, I want to fight him because I know I can easily beat him.
How would you have beaten him?
By speed. Boxing is not about your strength. It's not about your how you strong to punch. It's about ability, skills in the ring, like how you move, how you. That's boxing. That's sports. That's the secret of being an 8 different weight division.
That's right. Yes.
To be a champion in 8 different weight division is not that easy that we can think of. Like you have to go through a lot of things to consider it. Like even the smallest, like moving around. It's not boxing. It's not just about I'm strong. But you're strong. But
it's more than
how
that.
can you hit your opponent?
People think of Manny Pacquiao as one of the great phenomenon in terms of speed and power, right? Yeah. But Floyd Mayweather has always said, in terms of thinking, that Pacquiao was his smartest opponent. Was the hardest fight for him mentally because of how you think about boxing. That's what Floyd said about you.
And I heard Max just say something to you, and y'all was talking about when you got with Freddie Roach, how your footwork changed for the better. One thing I always admired about you, Manny, was your loyalty. Nowadays, fighters get with trainers, and when things don't go their way, the first thing they do is they go bail south and go try to find the answer from somewhere else. Something that you've always done with Freddie Roach was stayed loyal regardless of your ups and downs. What was the bond that always kept you and Freddie so tight, where no matter what happened, you stayed?
Tell
with
him
your
the
trainer?
secret, because he wants to hold on to all his fighters.
Like that.
No, it's about relationship. How you get connected in relation to have relationship to your team. It's about like that. And during training, it's up to the fighter how to push themselves. It's up to them. Even you have a best trainer, good trainer. If the fighter is lazy, don't push something.
Right.
You
He's
have
basically
to,
saying you can't babysit your fighters.
You
can't want it for him. The fighter has to want it.
Yes.
And he brought up Errol Spence.
In our team with Freddie, usually the trainer will push you to do extra round, but in our situation, they're watching me to stop.
Right.
To stop.
Don't overtrain.
Yes. Don't overtrain. To stop. And we come to the point that off the time because I don't stop.
You don't get to be Manny Pacquiao in any walk of life by being lazy. Right. Hey, hold on, no more questions. No, we have to get to the game.
I just want to.
Are the producers in there? Does this thing work for you?
Our coach is mad at me. See how the coach is mad at me now?
Right.
See?
Before we let you go, the reason I'm cutting Shady off, I'm sure he had a fantastic question. We want to play a game with you, okay? Where we name a fight between someone you fought, because you fought everybody.
Yes, he did.
And then a current fighter. Now, when I say the name of the guy you fought Shane Mosley, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to take you fought an old Shane Mosley. You can make him in his prime, okay? Take Shane Mosley and put him in against the guy we're going to say, okay? So you tell us how the old fighters would do against these young fighters. We're calling it Pacquiao Pick'em. Here we go, the first one. What would happen if Antonio Margarito fought Devin Haney? You fought and beat Margarito. Beat him up.
Devin Haney will beat Margarito.
Why?
Speed has a power.
By the way,
Debo.
See how a lot of guys, the older fighters, will always say the guy he fought is better than the new guy. Pacquiao will shoot you straight. Okay.
Yes.
How about Oscar De La Hoya versus Ryan Garcia?
Oscar De La Hoya in his prime.
Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya in his prime.
Yes, of course.
Pretty damn good. Just about as good as it ever got, right?
That was a good one.
How about this one? Floyd Mayweather against Terence Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather against Terence Crawford, I think Terence Crawford.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
In both prime. Like
Both the prime. You think Crawford is? Why do you like Crawford?
He has advantage. He is a southpaw.
Right. By the way, a switch hitter.
I agree. I think Bud beats Floyd. I believe that one.
Manny keeps it simple.
I think Bud gets that one for sure.
That's a really good point.
I saw Crawford as a southpaw. He mastered it. Like he know how to handle his advantage. He to maximize his advantage against orthodox.
Smart. And then how about Floyd against whoever that's supposed to be? Oh, that's supposed to be Terence Crawford? Never mind. All right. Juan Manuel Marquez against Naoya Inoue. Inoue beats Marquez.
No hesitation.
Yes.
No hesitation. Inoue.
Wow. That's to
because
me,
Inoue can go around in counter Marquez.
What is really interesting to me about you, Manny, is a lot of times if you talk to a fighter in your position who had a rival, who he won some against, he lost some against, but they were like an even kind of match. You're not going to say the new guy beats your rival because it's almost like saying you're picking the new guy over you. But you're being honest. You just think Inoue has the right style to beat Marquez.
Yes, because Inoue is a good counter puncher. Marquez, his style is if you are a counter puncher, then you can beat.
Right, but you were aggressive. That's why your styles matched up so well.
Exactly. Because I'm a fighter that I don't like, waiting. I don't
ready to fight.
I don't want the fans to disappoint, waiting each other like that. So I don't want to hear from the fans say boo boo boo. I don't like that.
We gotta call Manny for all the new picks.
Manny keeps it.
Your manager. The next fight, I'm calling for the pick.
Okay, how about Shane Mosley against Shakur Stevenson?
Shakur Stevenson and Mosley in his prime?
Yeah, both in prime.
I mean Mosley.
Mosley, why Mosley?
Ooh. Mosley has a speed and has a combination like that in his prime.
Fast
twitch. He can move.
Fast twitch.
Manny, God dang it.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Okay, I'm with you. I like maybe Shakur in his prime, but let me ask you this. Based on Manny's other answers, the fact that he's picking Mosley makes you think twice about it, doesn't it?
That's true.
Right?
Because he's been fair. He's been
totally fair, so I got to stop and think, wait, am I missing something?
If you watch Mosley's his prime, in his prime, he's very good.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Yes, one of the best.
It's hard to hit. It's hard to hit, and he can move around
Shane Mosley against Oscar De La Hoya, their first fight at welterweight. That's about as good as boxing gets.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw that fight.
Great fight, right? The great Manny Pacquiao. Yes. I'm here to tell you, if it wasn't for Sugar Ray Robinson, that'd be the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in the history of boxing. Yes. We appreciate you coming on, Manny. Always good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Great to see you.
But don't leave yet. I got to get my selfie. We got to talk for the selfie.
I don't know, man.
I got to get my selfie.
We have a show to do. All right. Coming up, our informant over here caught up with Tyson Fury and Conor Benn. We show you what he's got next.
Copp.
This is Inside the Ring.
On DAZN, the fights never stop. With the biggest nights in boxing all year long.
It has never been bigger for any fighter in the history of this country. Let's get ready to rumble!
Every week, it's on. So take your seat and join us ringside. Incredible! The undisputed global home of boxing. Watch only on DAZN.
All right, this is the Rings by Coppinger. We're here with the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, checking himself out in the mirror. You're looking good. Still. You're still handsome.
I just did 12 rounds and look good.
You're still looking handsome.
We look like twins, actually.
Hey, man, all bald guys look alike, right?
I know, yeah, tell me about it.
But look, I thought you looked really amazing and sharp. You were out of the ring 16 months.
Yeah.
Active, throwing a lot of punches.
Yeah.
How did you feel in there?
I felt good. I felt fit as a fiddle. I could have done 24 rounds. The plan was to box and move, slip and slide, get me groove back, you know what I mean? I've been out of the ring, I've been a loser for 16 months. Before that, I was undefeated for 17 years. That messes with a man's head. But to come back at 37 and sell out 66,000 fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it was an unbelievable experience, and big shout out to all the fans who turned up and bought tickets and stuff.
Well, you're back to winning ways now.
I am.
Does that feel different? You said a message in your head before. Now how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel good. Very, very happy with everything, and I'm just looking forward to getting this AJ fight signed if he's got the balls to do it. He was challenged. He didn't accept. He was stunned. He came here tonight to get in the ring and make the fight. The gauntlet was laid and he didn't accept, so what can I do?
What do you think it is? Do you think he's scared? Do you think you look too good?
I don't know, He had his opportunity tonight to accept, and he didn't accept. So the ball's in AJ's court now. I want the fight for August or September. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, also great. We fight again in September and December. 3 fights this year. I want to stay busy. I've got no belts to defend, which is good. I've got no mandatories. I've got nothing. Just heart, determination, a big set of cojones, and a very good-looking face.
Yeah, I thought the right uppercut was great tonight. And the jab was great. I mean, you're throwing a lot of punches even in round 12. It seemed like you really were super fit.
Yeah, I was very fit. I was trebling the jab up, moving the head, hands down. It was good. Big props to Arslanbek. He took a lot of good punches. Hit me with some good punches on the eye. He got me right in the eye in round 1, I think. So yeah, really good guy.
And it seemed like over the first couple of rounds or so, you were trying to shake off the rust. Is that so?
Yeah. For the first couple of rounds, just get me boxing together, working the jab, and it come right at the end. It come after a few rounds of back in my groove, back to the old Tyson Fury, working the head, working the body, slipping, letting him dip and roll, letting him throw over my shoulders, working the body from the inside. Very good. I was happy.
How important was it to go 12 rounds, do you think, after the long layoff?
Very important. You know, I could have come back and picked opponent who was a complete stiff, got him out of there in 1 round, but ranked number 5 contender I took on tonight. 17 knockouts in the first 3 rounds. Big, dangerous fella, and I was very happy.
If not Joshua next, who would you want to fight?
If not, listen, there's the promoter there. Yeah, get him in, and he'll sort it out. I've done my call now. I want to fight Anthony Joshua next. Yeah, he's coming off a win. I'm coming off a win. Now's the time to make this fight happen. You know, I'd never said his name. I give him a lot of time to recover from his problems, and you know, good luck to him. If he doesn't take it, he doesn't take it, and if he does, great. Let's get it on. August or September, I'll be ready to go again. No problem.
And then also, I do want to see the third fight with Usyk. I thought you looked great tonight.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think that the third fight with Usyk is one of the biggest fights in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing, but hopefully I get a decision this time, eh? Yeah. I deserved at least one of them fights. At least one.
I mean, look, you know your boxing history, especially the heavyweights. Yeah. How big was this comeback?
It was an awesome comeback. Listen, 16 months, 2 losses in a row, coming back. A lot of demons to take care of. A lot of people saying I got no legs. A lot of people saying I can't box no more. I'm useless. I'm finished. But that performance is not that of a finished boxer.
No, it was not. Your legs were there. You switched southpaw. You went backward, forward.
I was pinging him with the jab from both ways. Ping, 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 wop, wop, wop. Nice. I was happy. Very happy.
I know he's big and tough, but could you have finished him if you wanted to, or did you want to go 12?
If I would have put the pressure on, I could have got him out there a few times, but I was happy just boxing. You know what I mean? Getting a good 12 rounds is invaluable for where I am right now.
And when you were on Inside the Ring, last week, on Monday, you said that you don't want to give up boxing because you love it so much.
I do.
Did you love it as much as you thought tonight?
I was like a dolphin in the water in there, enjoying every minute. Even when I was getting clipped a couple of times, I was enjoying it.
And it just seemed like you weren't playing as much as usual, like you really were locked in and really focused.
I was enjoying myself, very much so.
Was the layoff really good for you then?
100%. Rejuvenated and ready to rock and roll again.
All right, well, thank you so much, Tyson. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you
boxing
so much.
is so much better when you're here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Copp, Shady. All right, guys. Tyson Fury, you got him. Good job, Mike.
Thank you, Max.
Right there on the
Very
scene.
good
What'd
job,
you think?
Mike.
Look, he said all the right things. I love how he said that, and I think I saw this watching it too. I'm sure we all did. As the rounds went on, 9, 10, 11, 12, you could see the rust leaving Tyson Fury, getting the confidence back, getting the timing back. He was in excellent shape. I mean, he was throwing a lot of punches over those last few rounds, and the biggest thing, as Fury said, is like, look, I could have gone 12 more rounds. Now, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but he felt great in there, and he said that he felt like he's sharp still.
What did you think, Malik?
I didn't think it was, to me, it's this thing of ring rust. I didn't see no ring rust. Even in them first couple rounds, Max, the way he was looking, he wasn't looking that off. It just, if he was in a prime Fury, he still would have took his time like that. He's never been a guy to come right out and blaze you.
Or
like
even
he's
if it's
never been
not
him.
ring rust exactly, the first 2 rounds, he's in with a guy who's so aggressive that he's like, let me not get caught with something stupid in case there's a little rust.
Yes, even
right?
if I
Let me
gotta give you the first 6
let me just
minutes,
control
cool.
him, and then I get to.
But he said that though. He said that it took some time for him to get used to it, and then once he got used to it, he dominated.
Yes,
I love what he looked like.
Yes, no one ever did him like that. Even the guys that stopped him before, it's a difference in that thing that we talked about, Max. Fighters get in there with other fighters, and they go 12 rounds. I guarantee you, he would never be the same again. More than he would have been if the times he got knocked out.
And also for Fury, and they made this point on the broadcast, and I think it's correct. all things considered, probably better for him to get those rounds in than to
Yes.
score a
that's good.
knockout like
Yes,
the
that's a
5th
good
round,
one.
right?
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say the other thing in talking to Tyson and watching him fight, I know it's unusual, but you know, Usyk beat him twice. I could actually be talking to a third fight between Fury and Usyk. Like you said, 2 all-time greats. I think it'd be another great fight. Why not after the Joshua
Why
fight?
not is because Usyk beat him twice.
Yeah.
But they
With
was good
Fury
fights.
they were, but Fury fought as well as he could, and so did Usyk, and Usyk was a little better, at least at this point in their careers.
You figured him out.
Yeah, and there are just other guys out there who I would like to see fight Usyk and Fury.
Like Moses Atama. Say
Like
it, Max. We know what
Atama.
you mean, baby.
Like Mike's guy, Caballel, right?
Right,
Like there are
Caballel,
guys out
yes.
there. By the way, you know who else is in the mix right now, at least as far as Anthony Joshua is concerned? Deontay Wilder.
Yes.
Right? Like, if we're going to do an old-timers tour. Copp also caught up with Conor Benn after his fight.
This is The Ring's Mike Coppinger. You're here with Conor Benn, who just fought at your lowest weight in 4 years, 10-round dominant victory over Regis Prograis, a very tough Regis Prograis. How would you grade your performance here?
I mean, I ain't watched it back, but he was tougher than I thought, to be honest. I thought I closed the show early. I'm so happy I've done my weight well. You know, dropping back down to welterweight isn't easy.
Right.
But ultimately, a lot of people said I couldn't do it. I done it. You know, I've been walking around at 175 for the past 3 years. You know, fighting up at middleweight, fighting bigger guys. It presented different challenges tonight, and you know, I'm glad I overcome them with relative ease.
Yeah, look, it's not easy when you're burning through muscle, right? You're a muscular guy. You just fought Chris Eubank Jr. twice last year at 160 pounds. Like you said, up to 175. How grueling was this weight cut?
Yeah, listen, it ain't easy. It's not easy, but we do it. We stay disciplined. You know, I have a great chef. I have a great performance team, and we all manage it. But ultimately, you know, I got my weight down well. Done 10 rounds easy. My face may disagree, but the fight was, you know, it was a shutout. You know, I believe I won every round, and excited to get that world title next.
I thought people were being a little harsh to you on social media. I know that's how social media is.
Social media is the minority. You got to remember, most fighters wouldn't be able to drop down to 150 after or 147 competing at middleweight. You know, ultimately, I've done that. A lot of people say, oh, he can't do it. He's going to be weight drained. I weren't weight drained at all. The fight was easy, apart from the head clashes. He's a great fighter. I took on a 2-time former world champion in Regis as my first fight back in 4 years at 150.
Afterward, Ryan Garcia, who you've been, you know, chirping with for a while now, called you out, says he wants you next.
Of
We know he's going to be fighting in July.
Of course he calls me out now. Of course he calls me out now. Where you been the past 2 years?
Right.
Where you been? You know, and that's cowardly behaviour. Of course he wants, oh, what, you want the smoke now? You want to be vocal now? Coward.
So why are you saying that he's being vocal now?
Well, because I've just gone 10 rounds with Regis, probably. You know? But ultimately his performance with Barrios weren't entertaining, weren't exciting. You know, so if he wants to go there, where you been when I've been vocal? You been scared? You know, so it's like, cool, let's run it next. No problem. I'll go in July. Let's go in July.
Even with the cuts, not going to be an issue?
I've got a hyperbaric chamber at home, so that'll heal up lively. And I'll be straight to it.
You have it at home. That's like some Dragon Ball Z stuff.
I invest in my health.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm ready to go. So seriously, July, if he wants it, we can run it.
So you know Eddie Hearn, where does he stand right now with you?
If he was to walk into the change room right now, I'd give him a cuddle. You know, I don't have no ill feelings towards him, towards Matchroom. As they can say what they want. Ultimately, my kids are sweet, and we've got an unborn child on the way. So my family's looked after. That's my job. You know, if you can't understand that, then that's on you. But ultimately, this is what I do this for, and it's a complete blessing to be in the position I'm in. All that matters to me is my family, because you see, when this is all said and done, and I ain't no hot topic no more, and who's going to be there? Who's going to pay my bills? Who's gonna pay for my kids to go to private school and give my kids the best education, give them the best holidays, give them the nicer, finer things in life?
Fair enough.
The same way everyone else does.
Be sure to catch the full interview with Conor Benn and Mike Coppinger, never heard of the guy, on The Ring's YouTube channel. I can barely say my own last name sometimes, you know, like Kellerman, Coppinger. It's a hard name.
Easy.
Fighters in the 147-pound division had a field day on Twitter after Conor Benn's performance. Here's Ryan Garcia tweeting, Conor bum. Straight and to the point. Shakur Stevenson saying, if it makes it 12 rounds with me, I'll be disappointed in myself.
Right.
Devin Haney got in on the action.
Debo.
Conor Benn, stay away. Guys, I got to say, one of the great things about this era with, Shakur and Devin and Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia, and we were hoping Tank Davis, though we'll see, right, is the I guess it's social media. I mentioned it earlier in the show, the mic skills, the sense of humor on social media.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
It's important in terms of character development in marketing a sport.
Yes.
These guys, it didn't used to be like that where guys are, social media didn't exist.
gotta
They're
sell it.
weighing it. But are they right? Are these comments right, what they're saying at Conor Benn?
It goes back to the performance. These are the fights that you're saying you're chasing, so this is the level you have to perform to. So the opposition is going to attack immediately when they're looking at it like, oh, you're not as good as you act like you chasing us. Man, get them out of here. That's where they're going. Now, to Shady's point earlier, I also believe that Conor going up against him, he rises to the occasion on another level because he'll rise to the opposition level.
I'll tell you what I think is bad about this, we'll see, is that it's one thing if there's engagement, and usually if a guy looks very vulnerable, but he's a big name and that's a big payday, everyone wants to fight him. The fact that there were comments like, stay away, like Devin Haney's like, you don't want this, that's not good for Conor Benn. Because Devin Haney's not saying, great, I want to fight Conor Benn, it's an easy payday. He's saying it's so lopsided, forget it.
No, I think this is great for Conor. I disagree. I think if you're Conor Benn, sometimes when you don't look good, this is a great thing. Now all these cash cows want to fight you.
And they underestimate you.
Yeah, and you get the fight, actually get it done.
Or do they estimate him correctly?
I think he's a solid fighter. He had a bad moment. I didn't even think he fought that bad, right?
I wouldn't even say it was a bad moment.
I just feel like
he won most of the rounds.
Yeah. His opponent wasn't the best. But I will say this. It's funny because every time a fighter has a bad performance, everybody jumps on, right?
Yeah.
Like Ryan Garcia is at the highest level right now. But when he fought Rolly, everybody was attacking him, right? Shakur Stevenson, who's the best out of all of them, he fought Edwin
De Los Santos.
Okay, and everybody was like, oh, he's on the treadmill, got his Nikes on. So Devin Haney, he lost to Ryan. So everybody does this thing. So
or after the Ramirez fight, everyone wants to fight Devin Haney. Then they see him with Norman, they're like, maybe not.
Right.
Yeah, right. You're as good as your last fight. Yeah. Coming up, Osleys Iglesias was in action.
Ooh,
that might be the best guy you don't know about yet. Yes. We discuss that next. This is Inside the Ring.
May 2nd, champions collide. David Benavidez, undefeated, unrelenting. Zurdo Ramirez, powerful, punishing.
And there's a left hook.
Can the Mexican monster snatch the crown from the unified cruiserweight king? Plus, Resendiz faces Munguia for the super middleweight title. Mexican warriors battle for the belts Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Are you ready?
Benavidez Zurdo plus Resendiz Munguia live on DAZN pay-per-view.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. I'm Max, that's Malik, that's Copp, and that is Shady. Last week, super middleweight, ring number 2 ranked contender Osleys Iglesias stopped Pavel Silyagin in the 8th round after his corner threw in the towel. Iglesias is a bad dude, Copp, and you've mentioned it before, kind of the boogeyman of the division. What did you think of this performance?
I thought it was, par for the course for a really good fighter, and I'll say Iglesias was getting better every time out. He's a southpaw. You see him there, he's lanky, he's a puncher. He can box going forward, going backward. I think he has all the tools. And what really impressed me is that lead hand uppercut. He was landing it at will. He had a guy in front of him that was moving around a lot, and he still made him quit on his stool.
I mean, listen, if I had a super middleweight fighter I was managing, so said, hey, you want to fight this guy? Well, who is he? Undefeated Cuban, deep amateur background, southpaw. Right. Really is like he's going to stink it out. No, he's aggressive. He comes with it. Power puncher. Yeah, maybe we won't fight that guy next.
Right.
What'd you think?
I thought what I was impressed with the most, well, besides his height and the southpaw, what I liked the most is how, let's speak to his intelligence, how he was setting traps. Yep. He was southpaw, so every time the jab came, he let it go by. and lift the guy up every time with the uppercut. He was doing it from a good distance and then was doing it from a very short distance as well. So that means he's a power puncher, not just from that long range. You know that Tommy Hearns we talk about, but he also can do it short distance as well.
Yeah, he's heavy-handed.
And like he took his time though.
Yes.
Right? Obviously he's the better fighter, but he took his time in there. I like that when guys don't really rush it, right? I'm taking my time and I'm really breaking him down.
Systematically.
Yeah.
By the way, I think that was the key to the fight. What you just said actually is what I came away with. I think that was the number one thing was patience.
Yes.
He never pushed it, never rushed it, and the fight ended kind of suddenly. All of a sudden, it's like, all right, that's enough. It's over. You're beating the guy up at this point.
Yeah, I think he landed a left hand in that final round that broke the nose, right? It seemed like he was gushing blood.
Yeah,
But this guy,
enough.
he's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
Like at super middleweight, that's a good question. Who beats Iglesias at super middleweight right now?
I don't know.
Right now.
That boogeyman. That's how we usually talk about when we say boogeyman. I'm
There's
saying he's the boogeyman.
Mbili is a tough fight for anyone. Would he be favored against Mbili?
I wouldn't favor Mbili, no.
I wouldn't
So
either.
you'd favor Iglesias?
I favor Iglesias, yes.
Yeah, Iglesias for
100%,
sure.
yes.
Long like that.
We're big
He'll
on
keep
it.
at a distance.
Shiraz?
He'll keep at a distance. He gets Shiraz.
I think Iglesias is the goods.
I think I agree. I think at this moment, I would probably at least make him the favorite against anyone.
I love Iglesias versus Shiraz. That's an
Good
excellent
fight.
Sure, and Mbili against anyone. By the way, forget about Mbili for a second. If Lester Martinez is looking for a fight,
Lester's nice.
I bet you Iglesias would be looking for one too. Also this past weekend, junior bantamweight and ring number 1 contender, Tenshin Nasukawa beat former ring champion Juan Francisco Estrada by 9th round corner stoppage. Copp, Estrada has seen better days. What did you think of Nasukawa?
Max, I think of all the named fighters, Tyson Fury, Conor, Benn, Jose Iglesias, I think Tenshin Nasukawa helped himself the most with his performance this weekend. That was so much more improved from when we saw him fight Inoue's brother in November. Mature, disciplined. He broke Estrada's ribs with those left-hand leads to the body. He was incredible in there, and this guy's already a major star in Japan, and you see why.
Yeah. Speaking of using the uppercut to catch a guy.
Yes. What you have to keep in mind with him is his experience level, Max. He came into this coming from a kickboxing background, I believe, and not even coming from like this. You know how these fighters come from the Olympics. They have all of these amateur fights. And then when you see him in a 15th fight, Mike speak about this a lot, like up the opposition a little bit more.
Yeah.
He came
Challenge
right
him.
in the door. Challenging high opposition at the high level, and look what he's doing with it.
He's way more explosive
and
than I
that guy
thought.
he
I didn't
just
know he was that
clipped,
explosive.
the only person that ever clipped him was our guy Bam Rodriguez, correct?
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
And we're talking about a future Hall of Famer, an all-time great. Yes, Estrada's at the end, but that's a big-time name on his resume, and this guy's going to be a big-time star.
You bring up kickboxing. What I noticed, you saw it in the UFC with the light heavyweights just this last weekend, is guys from other disciplines can strike. It's not the issue. The punches can still be good, but usually the head stays on line, and they don't take the head off the line, so they're easy to hit. But you could see Nasukawa actually moving his head and not being a stationary target.
I got that background though.
What's that?
Like kickboxing.
You got that background?
You got kickboxing background?
They don't say
no.
in kickboxing.
Yo, if we did the champions, that dude is maybe the nicest.
School of kicking ass.
Listen, you're going to the Hall of Fame one day in the NFL, which is a hard Hall of Fame to get into.
Well
You're
deserved.
doing fine. Before we go, a quick look at the DAZN boxing schedule for this weekend. First, a rematch of a hotly contested draw from October between featherweights Nathaniel Collins and Cristobal Lorente takes place in Glasgow. Then on Saturday in Liverpool, it's British silver medalist Ben Whitaker. Big personality. He's been a guest on this show.
He's from Brooklyn.
Taking on Argentinian puncher Brian Suarez. Why you say he's from Brooklyn?
Yeah, he's from England.
I know, guys. It's like a joke. Hey, swagger.
Saying you got the swag of someone from Brooklyn.
Hey, I'm from Brooklyn, Shady. Do I have the swagger? Come on.
No, you're from England.
No.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, that does it for us. For Malik Scott, Mike Coppinger, Shady McCoy, I'm Max Kellerman.
Here we
Thanks
go.
for watching. Oh, the champ. The champ.
Man got me feeling good.